And Dr. Theo Acheampong is a political risk analyst. He's obviously one who follows the economic issues very closely, an economist also. So he joins us on via Zoom. Also joining us is Dr. Kobe Mensah. He's a political communications expert, a lecturer also at the University of Ghana. Also joining me right now is Dr. Asante. He's a senior political science lecturer at the University of Ghana Political Science Department, and he's also joining us with his thoughts on this. I want to start with you, first of all, Dr. Theo Acheampong. Is there any real political cost to the current debt exchange program that is going on? If you listen to Chairman Sabongsi when he says it's dangerous to touch that middle class and possibly wipe them out, do you agree when people say, and we've seen the political party, the MPP and his executives trying to meet the finance minister to appeal to him to reconsider? Is there any real political cost to this?
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening. A pleasure to be here. Already, given the extreme or the dire state of the economy and given the challenges with high inflation, the cost of living, and related matters, the incumbents generally across the globe are all, losing significant ground. So if you do any public opinion survey currently, you would find that many incumbent governments, are not necessarily the most, favored in that sense. And so Ghana is not an exception in that regard. But what makes it particularly more challenging in Ghana's case is the fact that many of the people that are pretty much sustaining and driving this economy, when it comes to savings and when it comes to investments, are also folks that you would consider being in the middle class. And here we need to be very clear on the definition of middle class. There are different definitions, but the more used one is the AFDB one that says that if you're earning between $2 and $20 a day, in current cedi terms, between 30 cedis and 300 cedis a day, then you're considered middle class. So there's actually quite a significant gap in terms of the salary range and the salary expectations. The problem is that many of those that earn within the lower half or the lower quintile of the that range normally are not people that are able to necessarily save as much or are able to invest. We call them floating middle class because they sometimes move between sometimes poverty and then coming into the middle class at the same time. So it's really a very small section that are able to actually save and subsequently buy these government instruments. The second point also is that if you look at the middle class broadly in Ghana, many of them are aspirational, and they tend to most likely be people that will subscribe to the political ideology of the NPP as compared to the NDC in a sense. Therefore, the current debt restructuring exercise in the form that the government is seeking to push, should that go through, would actually leave people, as we know, worse off. And politically, when people are worse off and they're angry, of course, they will protest that with a vote. Therefore, that's why you see the likes of Chairman Sabongsi and other people within the party now saying, look, hang on, this thing, if we're not too careful, is actually going to bounce back or bite us back quite strongly. So yes, there's actually going to be a huge political consequence as a result of this restructuring exercise. Against the backdrop that remember that normally even in a second term, the incumbents don't tend to do well as much as during their first term. So you have these two factors at play here in that sense.